Gruesome sports injuries that traumatized fans, Part 2. In 2017, Akil Mitchell took an awkward fall during which his eye completely popped out of its socket. Miraculously, he regained his vision about a month later, but now is forced to play with protective glasses. Paul George was playing in a 2014 Team USA scrimmage when he jumped up to block a layup. On the way down, his foot landed awkwardly against the hoop's pole and his lower leg horrifically snapped in half. In the Olympic qualifiers, French gymnast Samir Ait Said landed badly after a huge vault, causing his left leg to break in multiple places. In 1985, quarterback Joe Theismann was sacked, completely busting his right leg in half. 33 years later, on the same team in the same city in basically identical parts of the field, a player named Alex Smith suffered an equally disturbing injury to his right leg. The final score of both games, 23-31. Weirdest world records that will make your skin crawl, Part 7. Legendary PC gamer Rocky No Hands has the world record for the most consecutive victory royales using a quad-stick mouth-operated joystick. He achieved this feat in 2019, winning a whopping 509 games in a row. After retiring from real estate, 60-year-old Bernie Baker became the world's oldest male stripper. He went on to win 40 stripping contests before dying of prostate cancer in 2007. Ryan Stock has the record for the most condoms sucked through a nose at once. Yeah, you heard me. In 2012, my man inhaled 3 rubbers through his right nostril and pulled it out of his mouth. At 17 years old, Macy Curran has the world's longest legs. She set the record with her almost 4.5 feet tall legs. She's 6'10", meaning that girl is 60% leg. Here are some facts that you probably didn't know that one day could save your life. Part 18. If you're ever stranded and desperately need food, most insects are a great option for a quick meal. They're full of nutrition and found pretty much everywhere, but be careful to avoid ones that are hairy, brightly colored, or have stingers. If you're in a situation where you need to catch some fish but don't have a fishing hook, you can actually repurpose a can tab by snipping one side of the loop to make a quick fishing hook. If you're ever being attacked by a monkey, give it any food you have because they're overly aggressive when they're hungry. And if you don't have food, make sure the monkey knows by showing your empty hands. If you're being strangled by a python, stop trying to pry it off, you're not strong enough. Bite it and poke at its eyes until it gets frustrated and leaves you alone. If someone is smothering you with a pillow, move your head to the side to breathe, and if that doesn't work, play dead. Likely your attacker doesn't know exactly how long they'll need to smother you for, and eventually, they'll give up. The Cheeto Dust Killer. February 9th, 2006. A witness watches a man in Taylorsville, Utah hold a bottle of Coke and a bag of Cheetos as he talks to 29-year-old Sonia Medja outside of her apartment. Suddenly, the man smacks Sonia hard on the head and forces both of them into the apartment. When Sonia's husband comes home, he finds the man's food outside the door. Inside the apartment, he finds Sonia stripped nude and strangled to death on the bed and her body covered in Cheeto dust. Let's fast forward to February 9th, the same day, but a year later and only a mile away from the previous crime. An unknown man breaks into the apartment of Damiana Castillo and smothers her with a pillow. The investigators compared the two crimes and matched the DNA to the same man. Unfortunately, the judge has sealed the case, so the verdict is unknown. But what we do know is that police found the man who we call Gruesome Sports Injuries that Traumatized Fans, Part 1. A Louisville basketball player named Kevin Ware was trying to block a shot when he landed awkwardly on his right leg, completely snapping his shin in half, exposing bone and making his foot dangle, only connected by skin and tissue. During a soccer match in 2009, Anthony Van Loo died on the field. He had a pre-existing heart condition that killed him mid-game, but fortunately he had a defibrillator attached, which shocked him back to life a few moments later. During a 2017 NBA basketball game, Celtics player Gordon Hayward landed wrong after trying to catch an alley-oop, spraining his left ankle so bad that it pointed in the opposite direction. In March of 1989, the Buffalo Sabres were facing off against the St. Louis Blues. The goalie, Clint Malachuk, was fighting a puck out of the corner when a player on the opposing team flipped over, sending their ice skate through the air and slicing Clint's jugular vein wide open. Normal looking photos that have a disturbing backstory, Part 26. While this photo looks like it's some prop from Halloween, it's an actual living two-headed dog that was created in 1959 by a mad Soviet scientist. He managed to create a two-headed dog that could smell, move, see, hear, and even bark. While this appears to be an ordinary doll, it belongs to a Russian scholar, Anatoly Moskvin, who was arrested in 2011 for having the mummified remains of young girls in his apartment. Police found 26 of these dolls in his home. On Christmas Day in 1929, Charlie Lawson would murder his wife, 6 of his 7 children, and take his own life. This photo shows a nice large family vacationing in Sweden in the 70s. The kid in the brown shirt, however, is a 14-year-old boy named Osama. Years later, Osama bin Laden founded the pan-Islamic militant group Al-Qaeda and was responsible for the 9/11 attacks. Here are some facts that you probably didn't know that one day could save your life. Part 17. If you see vultures circling above you, chances are there's a predator nearby and it's about to make a kill. Grapefruits can actually mess with prescription medication, and the most common of these is birth control. So stay away, because trust me, you do not have the time for a grapefruit baby. If a canker sore in your mouth or tongue isn't going away after 2 weeks, you might want to get it checked out because it very well could be oral cancer. Never use bleach to clean cat piss. The combination creates chlorine gas and it is very toxic. If you're wearing jeans, do not walk with your hands in your pockets. The ground feels a lot harder on your face when you don't have your hands to brace your fall. The human jaw combined with natural adrenaline is powerful enough to sever another human's jugular vein. Horrifying, but effective. Shocking war facts that school definitely didn't teach you. Part 8. After the Mexican victory at the Alamo, General Santa Anna felt invincible. So much so that he allowed his soldiers to take a midday siesta. And that's when a single rank of the Texan army snuck up and defeated the entire Mexican army in 18 minutes. In 1944, when Queen Elizabeth was 18, she was a driver and automobile engine mechanic in an attempt to support the British war effort. During World War II, Japan built a battleship that was 862 feet long. It was so big, in fact, that when it was launched, it sent a 4-foot tidal wave that flooded Nagasaki. A Viking chief defeated an Italian city by pretending to convert to Christianity and die. Before his fake death, he requested that he be given a Christian burial in the city, so they let him in. Once the funeral procession was in, he popped out of his coffin and attacked the city from inside. Weirdest world records that will make your skin crawl. Part 6. Zion Clark was born without legs because of a rare genetic condition and dreams of becoming a multi-time Olympic champion. He recently achieved the record for the fastest man on his hands in the world. Measured at a length of 24 feet, Ayanna Williams has the female record for the longest fingernails on a pair of hands. This video shows 20-year-old Karubal Yilma from Ethiopia performing a unique talent as he attempts to achieve the record for the longest time to spray water from his mouth. He achieved the record spraying water for 56 seconds straight. This clip shows Sultan Kosin from Turkey and Chandra Dongi from Nepal, meeting for the first time in 2014. At the time, Sultan was the tallest man in the world, measuring a staggering 8 feet 2 inches, whereas Chandra was the shortest, measuring just 21.5 inches tall. Weirdest world records that will make your skin crawl. Part 5. Fearless Ruan Liang Ming set a record for the heaviest amount of bees on a person, which weighed over 140 pounds and consisted of 637,000 insects. There's an official world record for time traveling, and it's held by cosmonaut Sergei Krikalev. He spent 803 days total in orbit around Earth, and according to Einstein's theory of relativity, this would mean that Sergei effectively has traveled 0.02 seconds forward in time. Jeremy Harper has the record for the largest number ever counted to. He streamed the entire process online, even raising money for charity, until 3 months later, he reached 1 million. Professor Splash, or Darren Taylor, has the record for the highest belly flop. He jumped 36 feet into a 12-inch kiddie pool.